Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Without qualification, used informally as often pejorative intensifiers. Gross negligence. Repellently fat. Conspicuously and outrageously bad or reprehensible. Gross ineptitude. Visible to the naked eye, especially of rocks and anatomical features. The entire amount of income before any deductions are made. 12 dozen. Conspicuously and tastelessly indecent. A revoltingly gross expletive. Before any deductions. Gross income. Earn before taxes, expenses, etc. Lacking fine distinctions or detail. The gross details of the structure appear reasonable. Without qualification, used informally as often pejorative intensifiers. An arrant fool. Without qualification, used informally as often pejorative intensifiers. A complete coward. Perfect and complete in every respect, having all necessary qualities. A complete gentleman. Having come or been brought to a conclusion. The harvesting was complete. Highly skilled. A complete musician. Write all the required information onto a form. Complete a pass. Come or bring to a finish or an end. She completed the requirements for her master's degree. Complete or carry out. Bring to a whole, with all the necessary parts or elements. A child would complete the family. Having every necessary or normal part or component or step. A complete meal. Without qualification, used informally as often pejorative intensifiers. A consummate fool. Perfect and complete in every respect, having all necessary qualities. Consummate happiness. Having or revealing supreme mastery or skill. A consummate artist. Fulfill sexually. Consummate a marriage. Make perfect. Bring to perfection. Without qualification, used informally as often pejorative intensifiers. A double-dyed villain. Without qualification, used informally as often pejorative intensifiers. Continuing forever or indefinitely. Life everlasting. Any of various plants of various genera of the family Compositae having flowers that can be dried without loss of form or color. Without qualification, used informally as often pejorative intensifiers. A perfect idiot. Make perfect or complete. Perfect your French in Paris. A tense of verbs used in describing action that has been completed, sometimes regarded as perfective aspect. Being complete of its kind and without defect or blemish. A perfect circle. Precisely accurate or exact. Perfect timing. Without qualification, used informally as often pejorative intensifiers. Pure folly. In a state of sexual virginity. Pure and vestal modesty. Of color, being chromatically pure, not diluted with white or gray or black. Concerned with theory and data rather than practice, opposed to applied. Pure science. Free from discordant qualities. Free of extraneous elements of any kind. Pure air and water. Used of persons or behaviors, having no faults, sinless. I felt pure and sweet as a new baby. Without qualification. Used informally as, often pejorative, intensifiers. What a sodding mess. Without qualification. Used informally as, often pejorative, intensifiers. Stark staring mad. Used of eyes, open and fixed as if in fear or wonder. Staring eyes. Without qualification. Used informally as, often pejorative, intensifiers. Stark staring mad. Providing no shelter or sustenance. A stark landscape. Devoid of any qualifications or disguise or adornment. Facing the stark reality of the deadline. Severely simple. A stark interior. Complete or extreme. Stark poverty. Without qualification. Used informally as, often pejorative, intensifiers. A thorough nuisance. Performed comprehensively and completely, not superficial or partial. Made a thorough search. Painstakingly careful and accurate. Our accountant is thorough. Without qualification. Used informally as, often pejorative, intensifiers. A thoroughgoing villain. Performed comprehensively and completely, not superficial or partial. Thoroughgoing research. Without qualification. Used informally as, often pejorative, intensifiers. The unadulterated truth. Not mixed with impurities. Unadulterated maple syrup. Without qualification. Used informally as, often pejorative, intensifiers. Utter nonsense. Articulate. Either verbally or with a cry, shout, or noise. He uttered a curse. Complete and absolute. Utter seriousness. Express in speech. Express audibly. Utter sounds, not necessarily words. He uttered strange sounds that nobody could understand. Put into circulation. Utter counterfeit currency. Repellently fat. A bald porcine old man. Resembling swine. Coarsely gluttonous or greedy. The piggy fat-cheeked little boy and his porcine pot-bellied father. Relating to or suggesting swine. Comparison between human and porcine pleasures. Demanding attention. A crying need. Conspicuously and outrageously bad or reprehensible. A crying shame. The process of shedding tears, usually accompanied by sobs or other inarticulate sounds. I hate to hear the crying of a child. Conspicuously and outrageously bad or reprehensible. An egregious lie. Conspicuously and outrageously bad or reprehensible. Flagrant violation of human rights. Conspicuously and outrageously bad or reprehensible. A glaring error. Shining intensely. The glaring sun. Assign a rank or rating to. How would you rank these students? The ordinary members of an organization, such as the enlisted soldiers of an army. The strike was supported by the Union rank and file. Conspicuously and outrageously bad or reprehensible. Rank treachery. Position in a social hierarchy. Take precedence or surpass others in rank. Complete and without restriction or qualification, sometimes used informally as intensifiers. A rank outsider. The body of members of an organization or group. They found dissension in their own ranks. A row or line of people, especially soldiers or police, standing abreast of one another. The entrance was guarded by ranks of policemen. Growing profusely. Rank jungle vegetation. Relative status. His salary was determined by his rank and seniority. Take or have a position relative to others. This painting ranks among the best in the Western world. Very fertile, producing profuse growth. Rank earth. Very offensive in smell or taste. A rank cigar. Visible to the naked eye, especially of rocks and anatomical features. The entire amount of income before any deductions are made. Government income due to taxation. The entire amount of income before any deductions are made. 12 dozen. A dark oil consisting mainly of hydrocarbons. Not carefully or expertly made. Managed to make a crude splint. Devoid of any qualifications or disguise or adornment. The crude facts. Not refined or processed. Crude oil. Conspicuously and tastelessly indecent. A crude joke. Belonging to an early stage of technical development, characterized by simplicity and, often, crudeness. The crude weapons and rude agricultural implements of early man. Not processed or subjected to analysis. Only the crude vital statistics. Conspicuously and tastelessly indecent. An earthy sense of humor. Sensible and practical. Her earthy common sense. Hearty and lusty. An earthy enjoyment of life. Not far removed from or suggestive of nature. The earthy taste of warm milk fresh from the cow. Of or consisting of or resembling earth. It had an earthy smell. Being or characteristic of or appropriate to everyday language. The vulgar tongue of the masses. Conspicuously and tastelessly indecent. A vulgar gesture. Lacking refinement or cultivation or taste. Appealing to the vulgar taste for violence. Of or associated with the great masses of people. A vulgar and objectionable person. Not diminished or moderated in intensity or severity, sometimes used as an intensifier. Unmitigated suffering. Make fat or plump. Lucrative. A nice fat job. Marked by great fruitfulness. A fat land. Excess bodily weight. She disliked fatness in herself as well as in others. A kind of body tissue containing stored fat that serves as a source of energy. It also cushions and insulates vital organs. Fatty tissue protected them from the severe cold. containing or composed of fat. Fatty food. A soft greasy substance occurring in organic tissue and consisting of a mixture of lipids, mostly triglycerides. Pizza has too much fat. Having an abundance of flesh. He hadn't remembered how fat she was. Having a relatively large diameter. A fat rope. Without any attempt at concealment, completely obvious. Obvious to the eye or mind. A tower conspicuous at a great distance.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.